So happy 2026, everybody. And if you're a MedTech company, you're probably asking yourself, what should I be doing in 2026 in order to get ahead? And here are 7 things that you should be doing right now to get ahead in medical technology. The first is building in-house plastic know-how. So if you do not have a structured plastic selection process, you should be having one. You should be starting to map your suppliers and potential suppliers for sustainable plastics or for plastics in general, and you should build material compliance know-how. If you do not have this, this is so essential. If you want to build a physical medical device, a consumable surgical device, auto-injector, something like that, you need a structured plastic selection process in order to holistically evaluate plastics. This will lead to smoother audits, less project risk because you will not be changing plastics in the late stage of a project. This will give you a faster time to market and, of course, lead to long-term competitiveness. Point number 2, you should perform your first LCA. If you haven't done so, you should start with your high runner device, run it through an LCA. It's no need to have a perfect LCA at this point. You should be screening the biggest impacts in your high runner device. You should identify the key impact drivers. Usually that's materials, but in your case, it could be different. If you're using an electrical device, the use time energy will also be important. So go ahead and gather data because data always beats opinions. And if you want to develop a sustainable medical device, it's always so important that you start with data-driven decisions. Moving on to number 3. If you haven't done so, evaluate an ISCC Plus certification. ISCC stands for International Sustainability and Carbon Certification. And with that, you will be able to use sustainable feedstocks with the same grades that you're already using. Start with a concept project and evaluate the cost, the benefits, and the timeline that your company, your MedTech company, would be using in order to get this certification. And what you should also be doing is you should be looking at the current grades that you're actually right now using and evaluating if your suppliers already offer these grades as an ISCC Plus bio-based or chemically recycled alternatives. And with that, you can further improve your assessment and see how much sustainable attributed feedstock you could be using in order to make your devices more sustainable. Moving on to number 4 is you should create your first medical device, sustainable medical device concept. If you have no sustainable concept in the drawer, you should start in 2026 to do so. It should be a concept only. It doesn't need to be a full development project. It's about getting your feet in the water and dipping the toes in the pool in order to explore and learn. You should explore materials, you should explore design processes, and you should use a small task force or a workshop in order to explore the topic. And because innovation and sustainability reinforce each other. So it's super duper important that you have this as an agile, small force that really can think outside the box and throw out the book in order to get you your first concept that you might want to develop to a full device or not. Then next up, we have AI competence. I know it's a buzzword. I know it's probably a bubble, but AI will reshape how we develop devices. It is such a powerful tool in order to improve the productivity and the time to market. Therefore, I really recommend that you start with structured AI usage and that you have a company-wide AI learning mandate so that you always stay on top on what the development is, because the speed of innovation is just mind-bogglingly fast. So what you should be having is an AI first mindset so that you are looking at standardized tasks and processes that you're doing all day long, and take those big chunks of work and see how AI can make them faster, make them more predictable. And I have been using and exploring this concept a lot. I also want to have some podcast guests on this year about the topic AI and how we can make medical device development faster with this. So stay tuned for that. Then next up, we have switched to a database first documentation approach. Engineers spend up to 50% of their time documenting, and that is no exaggeration, because Word and Excel don't scale. They simply don't scale. You have 17 documents that all have one ID in there, and you need to change that one ID. That takes you half a day in with approvals and everything. If you have a database first approach, you will change that at the push of the button. So it really frees up your engineers to do more innovative work, and you will improve your traceability and reuse. So it's just overall a good thing to improve your documentation. And if you want more info on that, we just recently had Carl Larson in our podcast talking about this. I think it was an hour. So check that one out. We will link the video here, and then we will move on. So the last point I want to make is build bridges and develop a growth mindset. It's so important that collaboration with suppliers, with external experts, with peers, that will really bring about the innovation that you want to have. It's impossible, or we have to do it on our own. Those mindsets, they don't build anything. So we had a bunch of our guests on the podcast, and we always ask them, what is the advice you would like to give? And the advice that comes up the most is like, talk to each other. It's like, talk to your suppliers, talk to your contract manufacturers, talk to your customers. It's like, build bridges and have a growth mindset, because I have more doesn't mean that you have to have less. So with this said, I wish you a very happy 2026. I hope you can implement all of the 7 things. And if you want to have a breakdown, now let's break it down in a summary. So you should build in-house plastic know-how. You should run your first LCA, evaluate ISCC Plus certifications for your sites, create a sustainable device concept, build AI competence, go for a database first documentation approach, and build bridges and your growth mindset so that you will be faster to market and that you can bring about the green transition that we're all envisioning. So if you're a MedTech company and you want help with achieving all of that in 2026, there's a link in the description. I would love to meet you. And if you like the video, you can like, comment, and subscribe, because YouTube loves that, and it will show you more videos like this. And if you have requests or questions, write them in the comments below, and I will read all the comments and hopefully get you what you want. As said, happy 2026, and until the next time.